You're tuned in to the Vintage House Show, home to the original stories of the history of house music as told by the legends, pioneers, and icons. Hosted by Kevin Mega McFall, Lori Branch, and Lauren Lowry.
What's up, everybody? We are here at the Vintage House Show celebrating 10 years of celebrating and preserving the history of house music. We got the crew in. You are listening to, welcome to WNUR 89.3 FM and HD1 in Evanston, Chicago. We are going to have an unbelievable time today. Donuts and salty. We are going to straight kick it today. We got the whole crew in the house. We're going to talk about how we got started 10 years ago, where we've gone, where we're going, what's happening. Lori Branch. What's up? The reason why we are here today, Pioneer. Lori Branch is up in the house today. We are so excited. Thank you, Mateo, for your work. We got several cameras going. We're trying to make sure.
And we're having donuts. What's up, y'all?
Yes, not in the OACR. This is not the truth, though. This is not happening like that. 10 years, Lori Branch. Get a shot of Mega on the decks. What's up with that? Mega, what's up? Turn around. Say hi. Mega, say hi to the crowd. And then we have our spot. What's up? Okay, right before. You guys will sit here for this. You guys are doing that. And our family member is up in the house today. Louis Green, also a pioneer, also doing his thing across the board, producing music and helping us out here, which we really appreciate. What's up, boy? What's happening? I think we can see each other.
Yeah. Playing a Grand High Police.
Nice, nice. I think we'll listen to a little bit of Mega. And Mega's gonna join us.
mic is terrible.
I know, but I think this will pick up everybody.
Hey, DJ Emmanuel.
What's
You
happening,
were with
people?
us.
Okay, move
Hey,
on.
John. Thank you. 10
Oh, you gotta
years.
see. No, just
It's hard to believe we started this 10 years ago.
It's crazy.
To me, it's like
It's
weird.
been
It's
10
weird.
years.
Hey, Vic.
You're up here, Kat, too, so by the way.
Vic
we're in a lot of
Lavender,
different
Bridgeport
places.
Records. He's with us.
What's
When
happening?
was the last time we were all in the
And
studio?
Just
you have-
recently.
If
because
you haven't been to
everyone
Bridgeport
passed.
Records, everybody got to go there, support this business, buy some music. They got so many cool things in Bridgeport Records.
We gotta go check them out.
I've been there.
I mean, I haven't checked them out. I do want to have
We
a
should
show
have a
in
show
there. I
there.
know,
we got
nice.
Vic. We want to come and
Pull your
like
thing over a little
film a
bit
little
so it
bit
gets
so we get everybody in there.
There you
Yes.
go. Yeah. So
you get Ferris up there. Yes, that would be great. You can co-host with us. You know, sometimes we do like to have like a little guest co-host. So if that's something you're interested in, especially if you've been a guest on the show,
we've had a ton of
hang
guest
out with
co-hosts.
me, Rocky.
There's Louis Green right
Louis,
there.
Kevin.
There's Rocky who started off as a guest. Right? There you go.
Yes.
So we were just talking about like some of these things that I don't remember. Like it's been so long.
It has been a long time.
So
How do we get you in this picture here? Let's see.
just
I
come
don't know.
on
Well,
over
you
here.
know,
we'll toggle it eventually.
Okay.
Some other
Let's
people
toggle
may
it in.
flow through here tonight
Yeah,
as
there we
well.
go.
So we'll get you through.
We'll get everybody in there. Yeah,
So-
we got you in there. We have a house full tonight. That's what's up.
Which is what we
Hey,
used to
Erica
do.
Kane, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're good, sister. Haven't seen you in a minute.
You gonna go on yours too?
I'm trying.
Okay.
So what we're doing tonight, guys, is we're talking about 10 years of the Vintage House Show on WNUR 89.3 Evanston, Chicago,
10 years,
FM and HD1,
just like it was
which
yesterday.
has evolved from sometime. We're going to have Lauren talk about sort of the evolution of the show, but I think it's fair to say we so much has grown from it. It's like a fruit, a tree that has borne lots of fruit, exhibits and television and
We're a
NPR.
conglomerate.
DJing
We're a
and
multimedia
so
conglomerate
many
now.
cool
There you go.
things.
NPR.
Yes.
I mean, which you can't beat
Scott
if you're a
Lee,
scholar.
thank you
like
so
we
much.
Are, right?
Thank you. I'm so glad you've been listening. You got to come on the show. Okay, so
Please,
All
it's
of-
been amazing. It's really been
yes,
amazing.
It has
how
been.
everything started. So I'll jump in and just say, quickly, as an archivist and a historian, what I recognized right away is that we needed to preserve the history of house music. And the way to do that, given the fact that I had access to this studio,
Yeah.
was to have people talk. So Lori Branch, you were our first guest when it was
Yes.
not the Vintage House Show.
It
We were
was
just
Street Beat.
celebrating.
We were Street Beat.
We
So-
still are Street Beat.
So just so you know, the full story is that so the Vintage House Show is a part of the WNUR offerings, a slot that is offered in the evening for dance music. And you know what's interesting? And it's called Street Beat. We didn't have the name the Vintage House Show, but LL Lauren Lowry was a host, has been a host for many years, even before we came. You should talk about a little bit, give people a little bit of that flavor of when you started as a college student.
I'll make it quick. Okay.
Okay.
Like I was a student. I was on the Street Beat Show. The Street Beat Show had just really started in 1983. I arrived in 1985. And at that time, we were interviewing Frankie Knuckles. We were interviewing Tyree Cooper, Sweet MD, T. Chablis. These people were doing their thing. So
Yeah.
back in the day, so we were having an event at Simfest.
Yes.
Celebrating the women of house that Lori curated.
Did I?
You curated the people
yes,
with
yes. We
Von
had
Zell,
Von-
with
yeah. So how many of y'all remember Von Zell? If you're watching, tell us if you
Hi
remember.
Von Zell.
All right, so let me ask people in the
Come
room.
back over here.
Okay, do you guys remember Von Zell?
I don't.
Augusta?
I don't.
Rocky, you remember Von Zell, Augusta?
Sounds familiar, yes.
So she was like one of the first female DJs in the house music scene in the early 80s. She was Disco Tony. She was one of Tony's friends, and she was a DJ. And like they had this little crew.
Kenwood crew.
Yeah, little Kenwood crew.
Mhm.
And Von Zell, I actually asked her to DJ my 41st birthday party. And that's the last time I remember Von Zell DJing. But I kind of see that she's been trying to sneak back on the turntables because she's like a professor and she does all kinds of cool things. Not in Chicago anymore, but Von Zell I do, want to give you your props and flowers because I always thought you were just a badass DJ, and not only house music, but she does like, Latin music and open format. And she did a lot of really cool things. But anyway, why did I bring up Vonzel?
Because Vonzel, Chrissy,
Child, First Lady.
First Lady, and who else?
Celeste.
Who are they? Celeste,
Yes.
and you, and we had a talk.
Oh, and it was Terry Bristol.
And Terry Bristol.
And Terry Bristol happened to be my first interview for the Vintage House Show. Y'all know who Terry Bristol is?
Oh yeah.
Everyone knows
You
who
know
Terry
Terry
Bristol
Bristol
is.
is.
Everyone
Of
knows who
course.
Terry Bristol is.
So no, not everybody. Like
Uh-oh.
see, that's how it is. Like everybody don't know everybody.
Oh my God,
That's
that
okay.
name's serious
Well,
business.
Gramophone.
What we're gonna
smartphone.
do today is we're gonna drop names. There's been so many people that we have been really blessed to be able to show. And Terry was our first guest, and Terry was one of the first female DJs. Probably like 83, somewhere around there, 84. She started. She was a DJ at Medusa's with
Yes.
Psycho B.
Yes.
I'm only saying B because we're on the radio. Psycho.
Right.
Thank you.
That-
Safe harbor after 10 o'clock.
You have to tell the
We have to
people,
dump
right?
if we say
Exactly.
bad words.
I think that dump done
I
work. We
think-
got to go all the way over
I think
there to dump and
it's
forget
okay.
it. I don't think
It's
that thing
okay.
works. They said that over. So here's the deal, guys. I
Yeah.
mean, the key is I wanted Kirk Townsend and you to be hosts.
Okay,
And
I remember
our
that.
the first show, because I knew it was going to be the Vintage House Show after we had that first show. I was like, I named it the Vintage House Show. Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
And I said, I want you and Kurt to be hosts.
Mhm.
Kurt did the first two. His first
Right.
guest was Mikey Zibuku, and his second guest was
Wow.
Jesse Saunders.
Jesse Saunders and
Okay.
Wayne Williams
Uh-huh.
and the whole family. And so everybody
Okay.
was up here in the house.
Yeah.
And Lou Green, who I had just met
Right.
probably a week earlier,
Right.
I asked him to come and like videotape it for me. So he has
Right.
the video of that, which we
Right.
use and we've replayed several times. It's a
Okay.
blessing to have that footage from 10 years ago. And then
we have the footage.
we have
We
that
have the
footage.
footage,
Yeah,
yes.
we
We
have
can-
that footage.
We can bring it up if you want to.
Yeah, we can bring it up on, it's
Y'all
on
can't see it, but
our stream.
we'll make sure we make that available to you. Our
Yeah.
10-year
Maybe we'll do
footage.
that for New Year's Day, since I'm sure you're not going to be doing your show. So
Listen, I'm sticking in Chicago. This is the first season where I've decided to stay home because I usually go out of town around sometime
We
around the
should go
holiday. I
around.
got family in Florida and
Yes,
Arizona, and we
Florida
always
was our side.
try to get away from the winter.
Go to Florida.
But my kid and my wife, everybody's like tired of traveling, so we're just gonna stay home. I'm already tired of being home, though, so
exactly,
I
it's
think
time to go.
I think I'm gonna be out for MLK weekend.
Okay,
I'll
so
be here.
they did that, and then you did a couple shows, and then I couldn't get either one of you
Yeah.
all to come back and do
Okay.
more shows, and then I begged.
Me?
Yes, you
Oh.
did. So you did a couple shows, and then
Yeah.
you were like, "Oh, I'm busy" or something like that. So I did a
Uh-huh.
show myself with like. With a bunch of people,
Yeah.
with Greg Gray, who
Uh-huh.
also may pop up here on the stream at some point, Cordell, whatever. So I begged people to come through, right?
Right.
And then I decided to beg you to be a host. Okay.
Is that
And-
what happened?
Yes, I begged you to be a host. You said,
She's
give me
got
about
good
a month.
memory.
I heard this because it was like, am I going to do this myself?
Right.
When I didn't want it to be me asking questions. I wanted it to be
I
a
do
conversation.
remember, like saying, I should do this with you.
I
Yeah.
begged you to do it yourself. I never wanted
Right.
never wanted
Right.
to be the host because I wanted it to be a
That is
conversation.
good, Kevin.
And so,
I
yeah,
think I'm gonna
thank
switch
you.
views. Let's put this over there,
Wow, that's a big, gigantic.
just so
view
we
right
get
there.
better lighting. Just sit it right there, like there you go.
It still may not get on. I guess it's getting the light. I guess it's
Someone to
okay.
get rocky in there.
Ooh,
Hello.
I got
there you go.
All right, we
There
try
you
and
go.
manage a few different things.
So I begged Lori Branch to be the host, be a
Yeah, that's
host.
better.
Say, are we all in that too? We should
Okay.
be all in
Yeah,
that.
we-
Okay,
we
now
good,
we are.
good,
There, we're good. Yeah.
we're
Thank
we're
you.
good. I
Thank
feel
you,
like
Mateo.
we're united
So
with
we
you.
decided, so I begged Lori, you actually said, give me about a month
Yes.
and I'll think about it.
Good memory.
Yes, because I remember wholeheartedly because I was going to come up here and like have to do it myself, which I didn't want to do.
Okay.
And you were like, yeah, I'll, like after a month, okay. Then you were like, yes, I'll do a show. And that was more like fallish.
Okay.
Because we were doing, it was like, it came like later in the fall. And then
we were rolling, and we were
Yeah.
doing every week. I think we were doing like every week.
Yeah.
Mike, what's his name? Was on. We did Monday nights, I think, at the time.
Michael Serafini.
And Mike Serafini was the
Yeah,
the show
right
before
before
us,
Yeah.
which we've got a great history of people who are on the shows
Shout out
before
to
us.
Gramophone, Mike Serafini.
Mike Serafini, love.
Yes, yes, yes.
But after that, the show was rolling. And there was no Facebook at the time. We were simply just here doing the show on the air. Me trying to record it, and
Well,
I have quite a
Facebook
few.
existed, but we just hadn't thought about like we should.
They weren't doing
They
Facebook
weren't
Live.
live. Facebook
Yes.
Live
That's
wasn't out
true.
yet.
It wasn't.
It was not.
Oh.
You put
It
that
came
on
later.
Yeah.
a lot later. So Lori, why again you live close to here, not to tell everyone where you live,
Oh, I'm in
but
Robert's Park.
but this is a hike for me. It's a hike for
Yeah.
Kevin. It's a hike for
Yeah.
Rocky, which I'm
Rocky,
pleasantly
where-
surprised.
He's the
that
furthest
in.
away.
He's the
Rocky's
furthest
where you
away.
in South Suburb?
Golly
I
jeez.
was in Crete.
He's in.
Oh,
Woo!
Lord.
That's
Yeah.
not even a
Oh.
suburb. That's like a whole nother city.
That's like a state
That's
away
actually
from
Will
us,
County.
right?
So yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. It's crazy.
But no, I'm in the city now. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So
And
proud.
where you at?
I'm by CBS High School.
Yeah.
Oh, right by
Everyone's
you.
rolling
Oh, really?
like that.
Southeast side.
I'm on 9th
Yeah,
Madison.
no, that's
I'm right on 87th. Yeah.
we do represent. I'm a Southsider, so let me just get that out in
Yes.
the open. I've talked about that.
You abandoned
Really
us? No
close to
problem.
Inglewood, Morgan Park. I'm from the South Side
South
of
Street.
Chicago.
I'm on the
I live on the
street
north
right
side.
along.
And proximity is about 5 minutes away from Evanston and 10 minutes away from the studio.
Right.
So let's keep it real. That matters.
That's
So-
important.
so
That's
as
important.
I was
yeah.
trying to, when Lauren was so generously offering me, to host a show. Hey, what's happening? We just talked
Kirk
about
in the house.
Kirk Townsend just walked in
Big
the
K.
door. Come on in.
What's up,
Come on in,
Kirk?
buddy.
What's going on? What's going
Vintage
on?
house
Big
shows
shout out.
first. Vintage house shows first.
It's always
Real
a part of it.
host, and then he abandoned us. That's okay.
Kirk Townsend.
Kirk
Well,
Townsend's in the house. Wave at everybody everywhere.
Yeah.
Wave it
Have a
all
seat.
the
Oh,
cameras.
yeah,
I know,
yeah,
right,
That was
exactly.
the first one. That was the first.
So go ahead,
All
keep
right,
going.
so what I'll
The
say is
second one.
this.
I thought the
2000
second one was when
so we're
my
talking about
girlfriend was with me. We had the
2015.
puppy with us.
Yes,
Right?
2015.
2015 is when we
10 years.
started.
Yeah, because it was street
We had a
That's
few
been
crazy
3
things going on
Yeah,
at the
it
time.
was.
We
You
had
have
an election.
children.
It was an election year coming up, so we were getting nervous about Trump. We were. I'm
Yep.
trying to
The
remember.
primaries were
Primaries
were
were
happening.
We were
Right.
watching the debates. It was like some crazy stuff going on. I just
Tell me to
remember
go
that
in.
and thinking
No, just
I kind of
move
needed
the
an
seat
escape.
over so you can be in
That
the
was
shot.
kind of one of the things that was like I just remember there being a
I don't
lot
know
of
if I want to
like
be in the shop. You're talking about
mood.
Trump.
Exactly.
I needed an escape.
That's why I got out the shot.
And also, I had taken a little bit of a dip in DJing. Like I was doing it, but I didn't have residency anywhere, so I was just doing little special events here and there. So I was like, I got a little bit more time, and this will help. This will force me to like go back in like proximity, to the music and talk to people, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's why I decided to do it. Is that it's sort of like a point in my life where I was like, I should be doing more.
Thankfully, you did.
Yeah. So, I'm just so appreciative of you taking on the challenge, coming here at the time every
Every week.
week.
We did.
It was
Monday
every week.
nights. That was a
We
lot.
did.
but
Was it always Wednesdays or was
It
it
was
different?
Mondays.
It was Mondays, and I think we went a couple years. Like
A
every
couple
every
years.
Monday, yeah.
Mike Serafini was here doing his thing. We
Yeah,
came
yeah.
in right after. It was just like totally a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was just ended up being like so much fun. But so what kept you going? Like what keeps you 10 years? Let's just quickly. What keeps you coming here week after week with unbelievable guests?
Okay, that's it. I mean, I think that one of the things that I love about this show is the opportunity to hear all these stories and to meet people that you see in passing. So while we're a community, we're mostly in passing. We see each other on the dance floor. We give each other a hug, what have you. We ain't been at each other's house or what, most of us.
Right.
I mean, I hang out with Craig and my little crew I was with, what have you.
Vertigo.
You know your friends
Right.
that you know. But then there's this extended family. There's this other ring of people that you are very familiar with in one context. And so to open up and like hear all these stories about where people are from and what drives them and what motivates them, why they inspired to be here in this court with you. I mean, that's what keeps me coming back. I feel like it's sparked a kind of a journalistic vibe in me. Like I'm always asking questions, you know, and it feeds me personally. And I'm sure that's got to be common for
No doubt.
everyone, right?
for everybody.
No doubt.
I mean, these were stories that needed to be told. And
Mhm.
what I recognized right away is that I loved these DJs.
Mhm.
Like, I love these artists in general, but I didn't know much about them.
Right.
And the only way to capture that would be to talk to them about what were
Mhm.
business owners' motivations were. How do you keep going? So, in that level, since we've got Kirk Townsend here,
Yes.
and he was our first Vintage House Show host
Host.
with Mike Izibuku, which I do have a picture, and I think I still have a little
Wow.
Was
footage.
that Mike the first one?
You were Mike
was our first
Izibuku was
guest.
your first guest. Do you have any recollection of that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We have pictures, so it was you.
I
So,
thought Wayne and Jesse. were
that was the
first.
second show.
That was the second show.
That was the second show.
Okay.
That was the second show. We luckily had Louis, who again at some point I'll tell
have
you
a
I just met,
recommendation.
Yeah.
and asked him to come and record, and he came. I was like, okay, yeah, great, thank you.
Recommendation.
Yes.
If you scoot your chair back just a little bit, then I think we get everybody like
Back.
that way.
This way, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
just like
Everyone
that.
come in.
Okay, I'll-
Because you're
Then-
missing from
And
this
get-
way too, by the way. So you
Yeah.
have to kind of.
boom,
I can see
mic
myself.
in.
You can see
Right
yourself
there.
right there. There's a bunch of different shots we can
Hey.
do right now.
Yeah.
So you know,
Bring
there
our
is
Am I
a-
in the other shot?
yeah, you might be missing the shot,
Oh,
but
there we
hopefully
go.
we can just get
Oh, I see
everyone.
it now. Right.
Get it.
But
But
it's not working that way.
so
It's
I
okay.
asked you. I met you through thousands of ways, but Jesse Saunders, of course,
You're
did the
exact- I thought
introduction.
Jesse.
It was definitely Jesse, but 20,000 people, as
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
starting to do this work,
Mhm.
said, you need to talk to Kirk Townsend. And I was
Yeah.
like, I must reach Kirk Townsend. I'm sure I called you, texted you, did whatever, and you never called me back. So then
Ashamed
Jesse
of it all.
Saunders
It's
was
like
like,
another
took your
thing.
thing,
You
brought you
came
up
for a
on the
public
thing, right?
shaming.
Exactly.
Did you realize that?
I had to give him some. I had to
Lucky I
give
was
some-
already at my nephew's house up in right up the street there.
Exactly.
Otherwise, man,
all
I'd be
this
home in the bed.
All is forgiven because then you agreed. I mean, you didn't know me. I'm just saying, like, we didn't know
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. No.
And I asked you to come and host, and you were like, "Yeah, you know, I'll do a couple shows." And you
Well-
brought in the people. Why would you agree to do that? Where do you live, by the way?
South Shore.
South Shore. That's a
Yeah,
long way.
that's
I
nice.
always think
That's
about
a good
people
hike.
coming along.
But I have a
like that.
nephew in Rogers Park.
That's great.
So
That's
uh,
nice.
shout out to my nephew Noah.
Hey,
So,
Noah.
Hey, Noah.
No.
Yeah,
Thanks,
he
Uncle
lives
Kurt.
up here. Yeah. yeah.
I see Celeste watching. What's up, Celeste?
What's up?
Hey.
So,
Another guest on our show.
Yes.
it real simple. First off, one of the reasons I stopped DJing was because I fell in love with radio, and I actually made a living doing it.
Right.
So,
yes.
And I had gotten away from that. I had, went to work in St. I took a year off from doing Mendel and doing everything, and said I'm gonna concentrate and get this radio thing going, and spend part time in St. Louis, part time in New York. And at that time, my mom and dad had separated. My mom got real ill, and a lot of major family stuff went on, and I had to come back home. And in the process of coming home to take care of my mom, which I've been doing ever since.
She looks good, by the way.
Yeah.
Last time I saw you was at the Terry on
Benjamin Buttons.
I saw y'all
Yeah,
last
that's
at
what
the
I-
Jewel Oscar.
That's why I call her Benjamin
Mom
Buttons.
is fire. I mean,
She's
she
Asian
is
back.
fire.
Big
She's
time.
amazing.
I have to take her out dancing.
Everyone knows your mom.
And you know what's funny? Nobody asks about me anymore.
How's your mom?
How's your mom?
That's
Your
what
mom
happens.
coming
That's
tonight?
what happens.
Exactly.
That's
It's
good.
either kids or your parents. Like, because that's me with your parents. I mean, when they were alive, I was like, how they
I
doing?
know.
What's going on? Okay, so keep
I
going.
got several
Fast forward
friends
it.
that have-
Fast forward it.
Totally gone beyond me and called my mom direct now. And stuff. So,
That is always
She's
interesting,
something
isn't it?
else.
Like,
She's
hey,
something
let me know what you're talking about. But anyway, okay, so you like radio.
so yeah, well, I fell in love with radio.
Thurman was a
And,
guest.
I was taught by a professional,
He
a
played.
mentor,
Mhm.
by a professional, and love the sanctity of radio. Radio is the ultimate DJ, and what I mean by that is, I've always told people DJing that if you can't take people on a journey with you, then you're doing something wrong. You should have the capacity of whatever it is you're doing to take them on a journey. And radio is the ultimate journey because now they don't even see you,
Right.
and they
exactly.
you have to plug into them.
Mhm.
So there was that allure, And even when I started DJing, for me was one of the first influences that I had was how this guy was able to take a room full of kids and just captivate their minds. And I was in, well, I'll tell a little bit of the story. I was in 8th grade, and our little grammar school, I went to Holy Cross Grammar School. And one of my buddies, Kenny Anderson, his dad, George Anderson, was the engineer of Soul Train. And so sometimes after school, we would get out, jump on the train, and go downtown. They were at the Board of Trade building on Jackson.
Is that where Soul Train was?
It was on the top, at the top of the Board of
I
Trade
always
building.
wondered where that was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Got
so,
so much history.
you know, and so George did our little 8th grade dance in our grammar school, and bought the Soul Train dancers with us.
Shut
Oh,
up.
You can't be
That's
serious.
crazy.
Oh, let me tell you something.
We're having-
Let me tell you something. Is this a family program?
It is a
It is.
family program.
Oh, okay. I won't
It's
use all
after
this stuff.
hours.
It's not cursing, but you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you know.
You can
Oh,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You're telling a story.
No,
Yeah, some of the-
This
So,
could be our problem. We got champagne over there.
So-
No alcohol in the OACR, so.
so I got
We're
my
good.
champagne, but
And we're telling people, so that's
so
great.
it just amazed me how George was doing. He had everybody down there rocking, and then he stopped the music totally. He said, "We're going to do something different. We're going to do a ladies' choice." And he had the ladies of the Soul Train dancers go out and get some of the young guys to dance with him, and this beautiful, bodied up, sexual. She was like the popular Soul Train dancer at the time. She came and got me.
Uh-oh.
Your life was changed.
Forever. And we danced to Sexy Mama by the Moments. I'm showing how old I am now. And but you know that's about 9 minutes long. And man,
I know what you talking
All right, he's
about.
resurrecting.
Okay.
I know what you're talking
memories.
about.
All right,
Maybe
so we're gonna
something
move
else.
forward. We're gonna move forward. You brought Mikey
wait a
Z
minute, I
Blues.
didn't
tell
talk
the
about
story.
some of the extensions. No.
We're talking about VHS. Mikey Z Blues, which is
Michael.
he's amazing.
Yeah.
And how did you? I mean, like, how did you convince him to come through? Like, you know,
Oh,
why
real
Mike
easy.
as your first?
So-
like, because you chose your guest. Like, why him?
Why Michael?
So one, Michael, you know,
Who was a DJ?
was to
Fantastic
me
DJ.
one of the most unsung heroes
Rialtos.
in the house music industry.
Mhm.
And I met Michael through Gene White. If you don't know,
I've heard you talk about
God bless
Gene
his
White,
soul,
yeah.
Gene passed on. But Gene's father and his brother Maurice worked for RCA Records and a lot of different record labels. But his father, Granville was his name, but we called him Granny, was the first black. He ran CBS Records. He was the branch manager for CBS.
Mhm.
That was unheard of back then for a black to be branch manager.
Okay.
I mean, the guy he replaced was who I knew well too, Jim Scully. And Scully was a good guy, but you know, nobody saw that coming that Granny was going to get that position.
In relation to John Scully? Or no?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Mhm.
But so Gene was starting to DJ and do things, and he was and at that time I was renting equipment to a lot of the gauges. Sharon Webb, Gene, Michael, Craig
Sharon Webb.
Cannon.
Shout out to Sharon Webb. She's
Craig
been on the show.
Cannon,
Correct.
so many guys, and
Rest
you
in
know, I
peace,
guess
Craig.
as you know, it went on. Everybody was telling me you need to get equipment from Kirk, and so I had that relationship with him, and I always did right behind him. So you know, we all became friends, good friends. I mean, you know, Craig Cannon was another one. God rest his soul. We were so close that I sold Craig a car that burnt up on him one time. But he was doing the wrong thing.
Did I tell you Craig gave me my first, Craig Cannon gave me my first residency.
Oh, really? Where?
R2 Underground.
R2 Underground. And see, people don't know that
That's
Craig
what
was
he
the one who opened the
Right.
R2 Underground.
He was.
You know,
He opened R2 Underground.
and that was
which
my
is-
equipment in there.
Was it?
Really?
That great
Yeah.
big.
I did
They were
the-
so
I did
big,
the
you had
ladies'
to have
night.
one in one room and one in the other
I
room.
did the ladies' night at R2 Underground.
Yeah.
When it opened.
Yeah,
That's
that
crazy.
was my equipment in there.
See how that works?
So yeah,
1982, 83,
God,
83,
I don't even
1983.
remember.
Yeah,
It might have been 82 too.
it was. Yeah, it was around 82, 83. Yeah,
because the music box had just shut down around the time the playground did.
right. But the music box came to R2 Underground.
Yes, it did. Well, once
yeah,
he brought Robert over there.
exactly.
Yeah, and but prior to that, man, that place was something else.
I loved it.
I wish it could work more. You know, that down below,
The Lower
everything
Michigan Avenue.
was
Yeah.
away from everything.
Did you ever go there, Rocky? To the music
To
box?
the music? Well, R2 Underground it was
That
first.
was well before my time.
The music box was
Yeah.
well before your time.
He's just a baby.
No, I wouldn't say all that now. Wait a minute.
But I think
Yeah.
you might be the youngest one over here. But by the way, I do want to sort of fast forward and try to get to a few people before we start talking about stories, because I want to
Yes.
hear about some of your favorite shows. I do want us to talk about how we created an exhibit, how we were, somehow on CIU, NPR, these unexpected things, to what is the ultimate thing here is that fantastic Emmy that we got. So we're totally excited
that
about
leaves
that
me out,
Emmy,
so I
right?
can go.
No.
No.
You gotta be
You know what I'd like to do is just I want to honor some of the people that we just mentioned who were on the show who are no longer here.
Yes.
Because that just sort of puts a stamp in time when you really see, like, it's been 10 years. I think we've lost 10 people
It's
You
a
know,
Oh,
tragedy.
at the very least.
easily. And starting with Terry Bristol, our very
Mhm.
first guest who passed away a few years ago. Rest in peace, Terry. Amazing DJ. We had Craig Cannon.
Yeah,
I still have that interview with Craig.
yeah.
It was great. We didn't record Terry.
That was too
unfortunately.
early.
It was too
Yeah,
early
that was
because we were
too
just
early.
getting started.
Right,
And right before Craig
Mhm.
died, we did the thing over at Links
yeah.
Hall.
The
Yeah.
Chicago
And
like
he
social
was-
culture man.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
talking about the stories, and
Yeah, he had a lot. I mean,
I love Craig.
he
man.
really helped me a
He
lot.
was so genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
I had a chance to talk to him in his house. We had
Yeah.
a great interview in his house. But Louis, who's your friend? Is it Spanky that passed away? We did the interview
Yes.
with him, and
Yeah.
then he
Roy
almost-
Davis Jr. and Spanky.
Yeah.
Roy
Yeah.
Davis,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spanky was here.
And that's when I think he was one of the first ones who had passed, who had just come on the show, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is
But I mean, the point
too
of it is
much,
that this is why we do it. It's
Right.
not because people die, but people could. And that
Right.
you want to collect these stories while we're still vibrant, while we
Right.
still have our memory, while we still have our lives.
And that was a weird one because Spanky had an AVM too.
What's
I'll
that?
get the chorus.
AVM. He had
Autoimmune.
Oh,
no. It was
okay.
it was an artery
Yeah.
Yeah.
that bypassed his brain or something.
Oh,
It was
that's
supposed
messed
to.
up.
It took away his blood flow to
Yeah.
his brain.
Yeah.
No, but there was Angie Stone.
Yes.
There was Eric Mosby.
Yes.
Y'all know
Yes.
remember Eric?
Eric,
yeah.
Eric Mosby, Roy Bryant.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
He's been
know,
a couple times. I saw him a couple pictures. I was like,
Yes.
wow.
He was here with
We did the James
UIC,
Silk
the
reunion.
UIC, James
Yeah.
Silk Jr. and the
James
UIC.
Silk.
I think he might have been one of
Then
them.
I did
I recorded both of those, in fact.
Yeah.
Keith.
Keith
Keith
Nunn.
Keith Nellis,
Nellis,
yeah,
yeah.
right. I recorded that one too.
Daryl
with him and Steve
Williams.
Hurley. Right.
Yeah.
Y'all know Daryl Williams?
Yeah.
Old Dirty
yeah.
Dog.
From
Yeah.
Rare Sounds of Space.
Old Dirty Dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember the
Yeah.
name.
Remember Rare Sounds
Yeah.
of Space? Y'all,
Rory.
y'all too
I
young.
talked to Rory yesterday.
Rory.
Yeah, I talked to Rory
David
yesterday.
was part of that.
Yeah.
She may have to redo it.
Yeah.
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 And
saying,
what's Rory's buddy's name? He was in there
She
too.
may have to
David
go back
Allen?
in.
No, not of course David,
You may have
but
to go back
what's
in.
the other brother's name? He's here. He and his wife.
So yeah, it's
This is what happens when you get to a certain age. You can't remember stuff.
Yeah,
I
but,
know,
but
yeah.
but we've lost a lot of those folks, and I'm just so blessed. I feel blessed that we had an opportunity to talk to them because, like we're saying, these people you see in the club, it's noisy. You don't have these kind of in-depth conversations to
exactly.
say
You just don't
what
do it.
inspires you, who inspired you, why are you doing this?
Right.
So-
exactly.
You know,
If I can flip the script for a second
Yeah.
and give a hallelujah moment.
yeah,
So just to give kind of an update on Jesse.
Yeah.
yes,
Thank
you
you.
know,
yes, Jesse,
and he's
who I talk to all the time. Hey,
He's
Jesse.
he's doing quite well.
We text.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
He be on that keyboard, boy,
Yes.
and he's learned
Send
AI
us some
big
music.
time.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
music, Jesse. Jesse.
Thank you. He
Yeah.
has hosted
I've
the
talked
show.
to him as well.
We did a
Yeah.
whole series.
His album
with him.
is getting
Yeah.
some national press. We're
So-
helping out.
So
there.
my oldest brother lives in Vegas, and it's so funny because my oldest brother, Asa, and I, were Jesse and Wayne and all of us, but Peter never really hung with us and stuff, and so but because Peter's there, I have him go check on Jesse every week,
Nice.
and
Never met Peter.
he never knew how spoiled Jesse was and all the stuff, and Peter's like, man, why'd you tell me about Jesse? I said, well, I figured you would find out for yourself the first time out, hanging with him, and by us being cousins, it just freaks him out. But every week he checks on Jesse. The young lady is back with him now, who was his caretaker first, and then
that's great.
we fired this other guy.
Uh-oh.
And,
Yeah.
but prior to that, he was kind of in a stupor.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting up. He wasn't doing things the way. But now she's really pushing him. You see now he's got the album out. He's using the AI to create all these pictures of himself.
Like I said, we're pretty active. We talk a lot over Texas.
So
stuff.
his cousin Donna and I both are ones watching over everything, and we gave him the incentive that if he does everything he's supposed to do, he'll come to the picnic this year.
That'll be
Yeah, we want to see you,
And
Jesse.
he's working
Do
towards
what you gotta
Yes.
do.
Yes.
so
it.
we
He's
can see you.
really working
Let's-
towards that. He's
right
doing really
into that.
well.
Yeah, that's great.
He's
That's
doing
great.
really well. So.
So now we're gonna fast forward very
Yes.
quickly to Kevin McFall. Okay,
Okay.
so Kevin, we did an exhibit on you at the Old Town School of Folk
Oh, yeah.
Music, and learned more about sort of your history in the house music scene. And then I don't remember all the other things that happened, such that you became a host. I know you were a guest, but all of a sudden you were a host. I know Kurt was supposed to do some things with you, but you tell me the story. I
There
can't
was a
remember all.
progressive journey.
Yes,
In fact,
okay.
Lori, Kirk, and I sat in Dearborn
Absolutely.
Station,
To do something,
and
right?
we
Yeah.
did a
And
promo
did a
for
tease,
the show. Yeah.
But were you there before? You were doing something
yeah,
before
yeah.
that,
There-
though.
yeah,
that was
well,
way
I
before
reposted that the other day.
Oh,
Really?
did you?
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I was like,
I didn't see
We
it.
both posted it.
Yeah.
And what preceded that was an opportunity to participate in a panel discussion with longtime attorney J.B. Ross.
That was
Oh,
at the Old
wow.
Town School.
So JB had fans, and then he had some naysayers, and so I wanted to be there to really understand what the dynamic was and hear him as much as it was an opportunity for me to share my story. But I got that opportunity, I think, because I had put out into the universe that I was the first house music publicist. That is the person dedicated to pitching the artists, the tracks,
shaping
and the
the story.
songs
Yeah.
to the music journalism world,
Mhm.
right? Because I lived in Boston for a while after being at U of I in Champaign. I DJ'd in a crew down there with Cedric Ball and Jerry McAllister and Brad Ritchie and a host of
Love
other
to all of
folks.
them.
We were called BMG, and we laid claim. I know there's now some debate about this, but we laid claim to bringing house music to Champaign and bringing it to live event
Mhm.
performances at the Illini Union was the spot. So fast forward to 86, 90, I moved to Boston. I was on the East Coast, but the representation of what was coming out of Chicago wasn't there. There was not a love for house music there. And I was still in touch with people back here in Chicago and getting record recommendations and releases and still DJing a bit. And I wanted to stand in the gap and say, these people my friends, my community are creating great music, and we need their story told here on the East Coast.
Right.
And that's how I fell into being a publicist for first Keith Nunley, may he rest in peace, and James Silk eventually, and then a host of other artists. Even when I came back, the folks at Mirage Entertainment, Rick Lenore, Gary Wallace, Larry Thompson, they took me in to be the in-house publicist for their label, and they were creating great music. And then Hula and Fingers and the Clubhouse Records crew and our friend Kashmir and a host of folks, DJ Lil Jon, were all dropping releases. Georgie Porgy, we all went to New York.
Another one, rest in peace.
Georgie's still with us.
Georgie's still alive.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
thinking
Trying to
of.
kill people.
Oh, I'm not trying to kill them. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I came back to Chicago something, and we really took to creating this movement of reaching out to the Billboard magazines and dance music reports and Street Sound and Mixmag to say there is an important movement here in Chicago, and there are people behind that movement. And here are their names, here are their faces, here are their likenesses, here are their releases. And they started to take notice. And I certainly wasn't alone in that effort. I mean, people were creating things. And they trusted me to take their stories and to build a narrative that would help the world understand what was happening here in Chicago. So Lauren took notice, heard about the story and history, invited me to that panel with JB. We did the exhibit at Old Town, which included press releases and coverage of the house music community. And eventually, I think Kurt and I hosted a show,
A couple of them.
or two or three.
Yeah.
And then September of 2018, Lori and Lauren deservedly took some time to travel. The whole month, there was no coverage.
Right.
And
We're
so
like, go for it.
for that month of September of 2018, I took over the Vintage House Show as a guest host. And I said to myself, wow, this is a powerful platform. I'd love to plug in and become a part of it. And so the rest, as they say, is history.
I remember the mega takeover. But I somehow don't remember. I feel like I begged you too to be a host. Like, I feel like I was like, can you be a host? Lori's leaving. She's doing 20,000 things. Like, how are we going to do it? And I was so happy that you were able to come. I know where you live too. I feel like you all are married and have children, and you're out at 10 o'clock at night and, that kind of thing. And I recognize, I think DJs, you all do things late anyway. But I recognize that this was not easy. I feel like I should call your wife and your wife be like, is it okay that, that he comes out here?
Mrs. Mega.
I know. Tell Karen, what's up? Simone, what's up?
The kids to
Kay.
grow up, on the show. Like, my kid is kind of grown up on the show because she's only 17 years old.
She's been here.
So she's been here a couple times as a little girl and then as a teenager, sitting in this chair. And it's pretty cool to see.
This kid also was on show. She did a show.
Yeah, Nia came a couple of times, and Walt McFarlane's daughter and my daughter were here at the same time. The Househead Calendar.
That was so cool.
Walt.
That was so cool. But okay, so I'm gonna fast forward before we get some stories so we can get them in. We got
Rocky.
DJ Rocky, the Spotlight Show. So I'm gonna give you all some thoughts on the Spotlight Show. Spotlight Show came about because Justin, one of our interns, what's up, Justin? If he's listening, we got to give him some love. He was like, I heard this song, this Drake song, and then I realized that he took the music from somebody else, right? Like, this is what I mean. Young people don't even realize that this house music has
Okay.
been, sort of recycled.
Uh-huh.
But they don't know that.
Repurposed.
And we need something with some young people.
From the very beginning.
So we got Rocky
So we
because he's
did.
a youngster.
No, we didn't get young people. So we need some different stories of not just the pioneers, young people, and then people who are not just the pioneers, but some of those people who decided, they needed to go to work or they needed to do other things, like Rocky Floyd. He was not spinning, being a superstar. He was working. He was having a family, doing his other things. So we got Mo Mami, love to Mo Mami, who was
Hey,
gonna
Mo Mami.
come. This is her show, so love to DJ
She's
Mo
like,
Mami.
I got the night off.
I know she was coming, but something popped
I'm
up.
putting her to work next week.
There you go. Good.
Yay, that's
Good.
awesome. And then I think Rocky was a guest on your show.
Yep.
Sometime. And my boy, who is not doing well, Ernest Sanders,
Yes.
said, well, you should talk to DJ Rocky. And I was like, DJ Rocky? And I was like, was he on the show? And you were like, yeah, he was on the show. And so, DJ Rocky, thank you so much for agreeing to be a host of the Spotlight Show.
Well, actually, the pleasure's mine. Prior to doing this, I think it was 2019, 2020, I was doing HBK. Yeah.
How are you getting the signal?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know,
Continue
right?
story.
That's
Magic.
interesting.
I know some people.
It's magic.
No, I was actually doing WHBK with
Expand the circle.
right with DJ Snooze and what's his name, Derek the Deacon, and they started going through some issues. I don't deep dive into anything, so they literally pulled out and just told me to take the show over.
Oh wow.
So Sunday nights.
Another takeover.
That's how it happens. Stick around long enough.
So I was doing a Sunday night show and I was bringing everybody in, doing it, and then COVID hit. Radio station just shut down totally, and then they just never brought it back until 5 months ago. Snooze is back on HBK, so
Nice.
shout out Snooze, keep it going.
Let's go, DJ Snooze.
And luckily, I came across the opportunity to come out here and sit with the great Lori Branch.
Oh boy.
And,
Yes.
I put flowers where flowers were right.
You're sweet.
So
Thank you.
the opportunity came to talk, and then I got a phone call from
LL.
the lady right over here, and it's been a great opportunity. I like the fact, again, like what you guys expect. Leave me alone, I told you. No, somebody wants some money. I know. So the opportunity to actually, when I do the interviews, because I try to get the perspective of the person to the scene that we all saw together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's real big because, when I was going to Mendel, to party in the 80s, I see it differently than probably somebody else next to me sees it. And
For sure.
and you pay attention. So, because I didn't start, when I DJ'd, I didn't start in house music. I started in blues and jazz.
Okay.
I got migrated to house because people stepped into my life at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
So when the opportunity came to start playing house, that's when I became that eager beaver. I was trying to grab everything and talk to everybody, and I'm getting all this information from somebody here, somebody there, and I'm learning the process of blending because I'm sorry, for me, the whole purpose of this is blending. Nothing else has to be pinpoint. I've just been anal. Let's just go ahead and say it like that. So in doing that, I used to always listen to DJs. I can literally tell you that if I was to sit down and actually write down a list, I would probably say it's about 7,000 DJs I've listened to.
Wow.
For at least 20 minutes or more, just so I could see and hear their story. That's one of the biggest things you talked about. Storytelling. Everybody has a story. You can listen to their story. If you can't listen to their story, then they're not telling the story. They're just disc jockeying and not DJing. So
Jukeboxing.
right, exactly. So the opportunity that you guys gave me, I am totally humble for it because I love being able to talk to people and getting their views on 45. I've been DJing 45 years. Well, let me rephrase that. I DJ'd for 45 years because I am officially retired. However,
Interesting.
The journey for me, I always like to hear the journey for somebody else because, again, we're all perpendicularly moving the same way. It's just my story is different from your story because of you, and I just like to hear how they got to where they are today. So I thank you guys.
Thank you. And just a quick, Louis Green is in the house. You've probably been on 10 shows without even, for just, serendipitously, it happened. But this is when I knew you were part of the Vintage House Show family. You were here when Titan was here. You brought Titan in.
I did.
Craig did the interview.
Right.
Because I think Lori was afraid to do that interview. Everyone was mad at Titan.
Lori
was supposed to do that video.
Both Lori and I suggested that neither of us do that.
Yeah, I know. Both. I was like, oh my
First of all, Titan, I was not afraid. I was preoccupied.
Okay.
Something else, she's putting words in my mouth.
I hosed him. That's the only thing I remember. I was like, Lori was going to do it. Then all of a sudden, it was like, well, I really wanted to come here today. I really wanted, why did I just...
Craig Loftus?
Yeah, Craig Loftus. Well, I wanted Craig Loftus to come because he's
He
been
did
around
that.
for so many
Craig
shows
has done a
as
couple
well.
of
Yes.
co-hosts.
I think I invited him as well, but
Okay.
he didn't do that show, and so we did that show. It was a great show. I thought it was
fascinating.
Titan's fascinating. Craig did a great job of interviewing him. He was a little nervous. He was like, "I've never done that." I was like, "Haven't you? I thought you had." I felt like he's been here.
It was a dangerous show to do.
Right. Well, I didn't
that-
realize it.
yeah.
I didn't realize it. But
Yeah.
so you called me later that night.
You
For
gonna
us-
tell the story? You gonna
For
tell
us
the
who
story?
don't know, what makes it dangerous?
So you tell us what was going on
on.
quickly,
No,
though. We,
no, okay,
we've
we
been
don't
here.
gotta
We've
keep
been
saying.
here forever.
So when I left the show, I got a call
No, why was Titan dangerous? Like, why
Yeah.
were people angry with Titan?
because Titan was at the time into it with a very prominent DJ here in Chicago.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's
And
a few.
It was a feud,
A little feud.
and it was
Chicago
over some
North.
stuff,
Just
and
one.
and so
So
I'd
he was
actually
afraid.
talked to the prominent DJ beforehand and said some things to him. Say, hey man, just leave Titan alone. It's going to be more problems than it's worth. We had some conversations and all that, and blah blah blah. So when Titan did the show, Titan said something about he made a bunch of money because this DJ had posted his stuff, and so he made like $2,000 in like 24 hours or whatever like that off of this Bandcamp, because once he posted the guy, everybody was like, who's this dude? And they went and saw his stuff and said, man, he kind of dope. And so when he said that, I kind of laughed. I kind of giggled. And when I giggled, that was a mistake. Because then what happened was I got a phone call and I got reamed out because I laughed. So it's cool, but it wasn't an easy show to do.
So later that night, again, and this has happened before on one of the shows that you did with Wayne and Robert.
Mhm.
I also got a phone call late at night. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is crazy.
The great Robert Williams.
You're great.
Okay.
Loved her. Who's also been on quite a few times.
Yes.
So
Thank
he
you,
calls
Robert.
me
Thank you,
and he says, I just got cursed out for giggling on the show. I was like, why would someone call you about being on the show? You weren't on the show. You were not even talking. Like, you were just sort of sitting back here, like, what the heck is going on? I was like, well, you're a part of the family now. Like,
They
if
thought I showed allegiance
you get
to-
called
to
at the middle of the
Titan
night
over
for something
them.
somebody said,
Yeah,
I was
so
like,
you-
you're in
you were
trouble.
picking sides because you made some kind of gesture.
It was funny. What he said was funny. I laughed. So I'm like, yeah, I wasn't trying to pick sides. It was funny.
Yeah.
But I used to get these calls
But,
too late at
yeah.
night. Well, did you say blah 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 1 o'clock in the
This
morning?
is the power of radio.
That's true.
And the power of the internet, and the power of the way that you connect with people, because people take it very seriously.
Mm.
And one of the things that I really like to do, I can't see the comments, so if you're saying something, I want to
We
shout
appreciate you.
out, is that people look
Talking
for
to you.
validation.
Yeah.
Somebody come. They look for that type of validation. When people are watching your show, they look out because it's like, I'm paying attention to you. Are you
Right.
seeing me?
Right.
And
That's
so
part of
there is a lot of power behind the microphone, and you have to yield it responsibly. And that's why I think people are like, wait a minute, what did he just
So I got
giggle?
This is good.
I got
Yes,
cursed.
Completely unacceptable.
I got cursed out, like for real cursed out. Like If we'd been standing in front of each other, we'd have been fighting.
Oh,
I was
boy.
like,
bad.
you barely said a word. Like, what the
Seriously.
heck is going on? But you do have to be so careful because that's happened. And again, once that happened, I was like, okay, Louis is a part of the family now. I mean, he's just like, you get cursed out for like being in the background. I'm like, what the heck?
The other side of this, a lot of people provide and heap praise on the show for preserving the culture, right? There's been a lot that has happened to the culture, to the genre, right? It's been usurped by and appropriated by other
Yes, so many.
artists and producers and labels have exploited the genre. But we are true to the game of allowing people to share their personal stories. Rocky said it earlier, it is a perspective, right? And on the Vintage House Show, you are guaranteed to the opportunity to share your perspective. And we in this room and those who have contributed to the show get a lot of praise for that opportunity and for the preservation of the stories and narratives that people come on and share.
And it's unedited. It's not like you're on
It's
the,
raw.
you got commercials and somebody's giving you 30 seconds
Yeah,
sound
right,
bite.
exactly.
We
Right.
sit here and talk for an hour.
Tell your story.
Right.
Tell
And some
your story.
people have been very vulnerable on this show. You know,
No
I
doubt.
can think of guests who talked about their drug use
Yes.
and abuse and things that have happened to them that were part of the scene that were sort of, you know, under wraps. We didn't know about that. You know, their recovery stories, stories of being broke as hell, you know, and trying to make a living, you know, spinning, which is very, very difficult to do, and having to do other things to support yourself. So I think that we've been able to provide a platform to really, for folks to understand the business
Yes.
business
Right.
side of that, and the heart.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like what drives people to continue to do this.
You're absolutely right. Connecting the heart and the minds of this community is
Yeah.
important work that we all take seriously.
Yeah.
And
And we've been able to sort of translate
vision.
that. I mean, I think the key was at all times to get every perspective, like you said,
Right.
and then we can share that so people can come up with their own ideas. So if we're
Yeah.
true historians, which, you know, not everyone's trained as a historian, but that's what you're supposed to do. Not lead the public to believe one thing or the other, but give them all the perspectives so that they can make their decision on what's happening.
and to that point, one thing we haven't heard was your vision. What was the origin story? Besides the fact you were a student here at Northwestern, you spent time in this studio while you were a student and then came back as an adult. Why?
So I realized, so by the way, I love Black people. And my impetus for everything that I do in my life is to elevate the artistry of people of African descent. Because if you don't, don't preserve it, other people will say that they did that work. And that's been happening for 500 years, certainly in this country. So my goal is always to elevate Black people. And the lowest hanging fruit for me after I got out of graduate school and got a certificate in archiving from the National Archives, to make sure that all the people I knew who said that house music was birthed in Amsterdam knew it was birthed in Chicago, and these were my friends who had created this music form. So the only way to do that in the sort of westernized sort of canon is to have the paperwork. You have to
The
prove that.
receipts.
So you can do that orally as well. So again, try to create something that said, can you just say WNUR? You can pick up one of those phones. So I think the thing is that, you know, that's what had to happen. I feel like I had to make sure that we were telling these stories and then preserving them. And then also making sure that we had the paperwork put together so that we can then write these stories. We can then create the books and the narratives, exhibits, and find these stories on NPR, places where, unfortunately, you know, Western society believes that if Europeans pick it up, then all of a sudden it's valid, right? And unfortunately, you know, I play into that a little bit too, because I do want to make sure if we don't do that and we say all together ourselves in our own Black community, we're just going to preserve these stories ourselves. Well, unfortunately, we need to make sure that the world knows that. And the way to do that is to preserve it orally and make sure it's out there. And then also make sure that we have all of the archival work, ephemera, flyers, reel-to-reels, all the things that are necessary to say that it was birthed in Chicago. This started in Chicago. If you don't do that, then we're in trouble as a society. And as you know, and
Yeah.
you can tell today, that Black history is under attack. It is almost illegal in many. It's illegal generally most of most of America right now.
Texas,
Can't
for
talk
sure.
about anything. Arizona, you can't be Black. Florida, you can't be Black. You can't say Black or do
Right,
anything
right,
or
right.
preserve or talk about anything Black history. And they're erasing Black history. And you think it wouldn't happen, but if you don't do it, that's what you think. Oh, everything is fine. We don't need to do
And
that.
You can't but you can't undo what we've done.
Right.
You can try to hide it. They can try to, destroy it, but you can't undo it. And let me just give you your flowers because Lauren, I think before this show, we were and since the show, I could be wrong in this, but I think we're probably the longest running house music talk show
Certainly in
in
Chicago.
We're putting that flag in the ground.
Yes,
for sure.
exactly.
I mean,
Talking about
that
house
has-
music specifically too. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
that-
just
that's
focused
the
on
whole
house
point
music.
of it. And that we have evolved into an exhibit, into hopefully a book soon. We're working on it.
Everyone's looking at
Yes.
several books. If
Several
he's doing
books.
a book, everyone's doing a book.
Well-
but everyone should be doing books.
Well,
everyone
we
should be
need
writing
we
about
need
this.
like you remember the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yes.
We need one of those for house music.
Oh my goodness.
So
No
all
one
y'all
can
need
study
to
it,
all
right,
y'all
no one
need
can
to do
study
a
it.
book so we can all have different chapters, different ways to express it, different viewpoints, and just
That's right.
your point about Mendel is very different than my story
Oh,
about
man.
Mendel, than
Right.
your experience, than
That's
your
right.
experience.
Exactly.
So we all got stories to tell, and that's what the mosaic is going to be.
I
It
got
has
chased
to be
by
fleshed out.
the thugs that came and crashed the party because they couldn't get in, and we were running through the park to catch the 111th Street bus.
what you gonna get chased and go to the bus stop and wait for the bus? Like, that's a bad
That was
idea.
outside though, right?
Yeah, it was outside.
Everything was outside.
No, it wasn't on the grounds. It was outside the grounds where they were.
Remember,
Y'all lingered around.
I just
Billy
remember
Billy
hanging out
called
around
somebody
outside.
and
No one trying to
I
beat up
never went
anybody
It was
else.
in summer.
They tried to rob me on the grounds one night.
yeah,
Well, they know
Oh,
you
my
had the
God.
money. You should have been, you got the dough. They gonna try to
I
get you.
saw it coming.
Brink should have been your escort.
Exactly.
You
I saw
were
it coming.
clocking.
I
Yeah.
think the other thing to talk about is how this has helped to shape DJ careers. That there's
No
a
doubt.
lot of people, including myself, and I know we've been doing this for a long time. But I think Mega, this has inspired you to come back to it.
It absolutely
bit.
has.
There's other folks who have spun live here, and then people had never seen it. It was like, oh, it's the first time I've ever seen it. Like, yeah, they know what they're doing, and we don't have the sync button. Well, we do, but we don't allow people to use it. So you actually have to know.
Time to spend here.
I got
right?
somebody got online and tried to berate me because I said that new DJs just buy a hard drive full of music
Yeah.
and a controller. And they would say, well, you too old to be that bitter. I said, I'm not bitter. I was just making a statement of
They
fact.
just don't like you, do they?
Yeah.
You snicker, you
I
can't
know.
help
But,
you.
I mean, but here's my thing.
Let me give you some advice. Shoot a couple of people, man.
Oh,
They'll respect
all right,
you.
we
No
don't promote
firearms.
violence.
No
That's
firearms.
what I did. But this is, they got plenty of respect.
But this is,
They don't stop talking shit.
but this is what I say. Give somebody 2 disco songs, not edited, not remixed, whatever. Put them on them turntables
Yeah,
on some
some
1200s
vinyl.
wax
Yeah.
and mix them. And when you can do that, then you can say you're a DJ like me. If you can't do that, you can say you're a DJ, but you can't say you're a DJ like me.
That's
Because
true.
I can mix disco
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
on wax.
Uh-oh.
Can you
Just
mix disco on wax if
Listen,
you're watching this?
Nah,
I tried
I
in
can't do
1985. It was very
See, but
hard.
that's-
That was all I
we would come from a different
There
cloud.
was nothing electronic.
I had to go
why-
loud on records.
That's why it's
Analog,
I
baby.
went down
That's
in
why it's
inputs.
original. That's why it's original.
Right.
See, I,
And
'cause I,
disco changes tempo.
I got a different perspective.
What's your
I
perspective?
started like you did
Mhm.
because there was back then. I had reels. I had the cassette tapes,
Cassettes
right?
with pitch control.
Pitch controls and
Yeah,
all that stuff. So I understand. I just my thing is this. All I care about is the dedication.
Mhm.
It's a craft.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Because the people that I have taught how to DJ, I sat down and told them. I said, "Look, don't think I'm just going to teach you this, and then you're going to not do it no more. Because then I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to be very upset because of the time I devoted to it, everything I've done to get to where we are, and then you're asking me, and now all you want to do is grab a laptop and a controller and get all this music from everybody else going to play for 2-3 times and stop.
Right.
No, we're not doing that. So if you're gonna do it, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna do it. I'm gonna learn you to teach you the craft. I'm gonna teach you how. We'll go back to records.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to CDs. I'll teach you how to do just straight on sticks. And then we'll get to what's the most easiest convenient now. Because I'm a very big fan of the fact that I love modern technology. Because trust me, I don't ever want to carry no speaker that's about that tall no more.
No,
I don't want to carry 45 crates to a party no more.
No.
It's much easier. But because it is a gift, it is also a curse. Because the opportunity for somebody else to learn, they don't have to walk that path that everybody else has walked to get there. I mean, I'm not mad that they don't have to. However, but if you're gonna get up here and you're gonna do it and you're gonna represent what we have had, you got to do it right. That's all I can say.
If you
I'm
want
gonna disagree with you for a second,
Let's
go
go.
ahead.
and here's why.
Quickly.
I believe they do have to walk that path because it's only in the negative and bad things that happen that you gain your greatest lessons.
All right, you're right.
You know, when things move in a certain direction, you take it for granted and you just go with it. But it's only when things, you know, it's
Challenges.
anything in life, you know, the harder things you ask the most questions about.
And I agree.
And that's when you learn your biggest lessons.
Yeah.
So,
And I agree. It's just that because we've gotten to a time where people don't even question no more.
Yeah.
Question. I mean, you can't challenge someone that doesn't want to be challenged.
but you know why they don't question? Because more of the griots need to really step up and tell the original stories, and not just tell the stories, but back up the stories.
Right.
You know, that's the key. What do the young guys say? They need receipts.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, or you know, you just need to have your stuff. And you know, nobody ever questions what I did. My stuff was etched in stone.
Right.
So you know, but it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It really does.
You need to have a few train.
Absolutely.
You need to have a few train wrecks.
To know what to expect.
You
Galloping
need
horses,
to
baby.
feel the anxiety of
Yeah.
nervousness.
Jimmy Stewart and drivers. I know.
That's
I
right.
get
You
that.
get up there
Absolutely.
like, shit, I'm gonna have a train, and then have a train wreck.
Right.
Pick the needle up off the
Make it.
wrong record.
Right.
Oh.
Bump the record itself. I get it. Hey.
Jump drive out the wrong thing. Like you need to have that experience because that's what makes it real.
Pick
Okay,
the
guys.
needle up off the record while it's playing.
Right.
You think you're getting the cue
Right.
record, but you
Right.
pick it up.
You're gonna grab the wrong side. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. I want to talk quickly about Epiphany to Navy Pier to now O'Hare.
Yes.
The one of the highlights to this show is the ability to tell stories and again illuminate others. And that exhibit, Chicago Home of House, absolutely did that.
Yes.
I think we took something that was already sort of in place and
It's a
moved it to
work
the
in
next
progress.
level. And Lori, talk to me about sort of you and sort of discussing, like quickly about Epiphany, making that exhibit happen, and how you felt about sort of that whole day,
Yes.
like that.
So giving props to Rob McKay, Reggie Corner, Robert Williams, all the people who were originally put together the exhibit that was at the Cultural Center that sort of kicked this all off.
Yes.
We got and
Homage.
we wanted to do something similar. We approached the folks at Epiphany, who are friends of ours, and they were already having a conversation with Rob. And we're like, well, there's a guy who's trying to do the same thing, and Rob was very welcome. He's like, let's combine our resources, and we can flesh it out. And he shared with us sort of the work that they had done before. We added to that. We expanded on those ideas. We brought together new voices. And we knew that it was still an incomplete picture
Sure.
because so much happens. Like how do you capture that in a timeline or with pictures? It's always going to be insufficient. And so we were able to take that, make an exhibit that was at Epiphany during the pandemic.
During the pandemic.
That people came and they saw and they really contributed more. We got back together, said, what are we missing? This voice is missing. Maybe there's too much of that voice and not enough of this.
Right, exactly.
And
it continues to evolve.
it continues to evolve. I mean, we were able to have the exhibit at Navy Pier for over 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
And people came through there and they loved it. And
Loved
they did. And shout out to Navy Pier and all the people who helped us to put up there because
Thank you.
they really did us a solid. Now, for those of you who wonder, like, how do we financially do this? With a lot of help. Like, because a lot of this is out of pocket or it's people who donate. Navy Pier basically donated almost everything to make that happen. And a big shout out to the Design Museum of Chicago,
Yes,
who do the
Design
hard work
Museum.
of actually taking our verbiage and taking our pictures and making it into art. And they've done a great job.
And the folks at XVP as well. I think at the
XVP,
end of this,
absolutely.
we're going to play that video
Yes.
at the end of this show. We're going to make sure
A
that's
beautiful
played.
video that talks about
Yes.
that. And now the exhibit, and we're continuing to figure out, like, what's the next step for that, because it's a labor of love. You know,
All
it
of
takes,
this
it takes
is a
a
labor.
lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of criticism. You know, every time we put it
Sure.
up there, people walk through and they go, "This is missing. That's missing. Where am I in this picture?" You
Yeah,
know, and
my
it's like-
head is missing
I remember, he was very smart. He was like, "Where's my picture?"
Well, the
because
highlight
it was
is-
up there, and then all of a sudden it was gone.
I know.
The highlight is
Yeah.
that I remember when we did the first one, Kirk was not in there. I made
Well,
sure that they
Mendel
had
was
a
in
whole
there.
thing
Yeah.
about you personally in that exhibit.
Why
And
is
so,
that?
in the Chicago Home
Because
and House,
you deserve. I mean, you
No, but why
introduced-
is it that Mendel was in there and I wasn't mentioned?
Oh, I have nothing to do with that. You were in there in
Okay.
the one that was in Epiphany.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the one that was before. You need to talk.
That's
to them.
part of the evolution.
But
That's-
right,
of
exactly.
this.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I
a
can't
Well,
help
but-
you with that. But what I will
Evolution,
say,
evolution's an interesting
yeah, what
word
I
to
recognize is that
utilize.
you were in there, but you were in ours. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then Lori continues to honor other people like DJ Lady D,
right.
like Rick, are crucial that are
Uh-huh,
Star
Terry
Wars
Hunter,
in our thing.
all
So
those folks who were
Terry
really-
helped kick off the exhibit at Navy
sure did,
Pier,
exactly,
with
which was
the
amazing.
panel, right,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we did.
It's funny to me, and I asked you that for a reason. I sit here and listen to you all talk about panels. I'm never invited to speak on a
Yeah.
panel. I hear everybody talk about this. I'm never. But when I hear interviews, like when Maurice did his thing, and every person that got on there said, "Well, Kirk Townsend was the one that influenced me, and Kirk Townsend was the one that gave me this." Kirk Townsend. I mean, you go boom, 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 boom. And I'm
I'ma
always a
challenge you.
bridesmaid,
I'ma
never a
I'm gonna
bride.
challenge you. I'm challenging Kirk right
I
now
know.
because Kirk was prominently featured in the Emmy award-winning documentary,
which of course we
Yeah.
said you must talk
which
to. Again,
we
we
said,
produced that,
which
and we
we
were like,
said
Kirk Townsend is the person to talk
Townsend
to.
needs to
So
be in
all
there.
the other complaints you got about all the people haven't put you in,
Well,
the Vintage House
I
Show
get
has
that.
made sure
Yeah.
you are
And-
number one.
and
Okay,
not
so
to-
don't
not-
play that.
Not to distract from that, but BA and I have been friends for a long time. And
Well,
Yeah,
she
well,
didn't
she
call
didn't
you.
need to call you.
So,
Yeah.
we said you better
Come
call
on
Kirk
now.
Townsend.
Well,
okay?
BA is, well,
I'm
She's
anyway.
busy, but I just
Yeah,
said
she's
she's got a lot of
busy.
people to talk to. But we were
We're-
like, no, you're not going to talk to all those people. This is the
Yeah.
person you talk to. So
What's
that's
up,
the
Linda Rand?
that's the great thing about being then
Yes.
from these fantastic
But-
exhibits to then operating on WCIU. Somehow WCIU says, hey, we want to talk to you about your show. That we somehow operated during COVID. We did not stop.
Right.
Which thank the both of you for doing
Doing
that.
it from our houses.
Doing it from your houses. Everyone pivoted, but we
And-
could have
and-
just said
and-
no. We're
and
not
there
going to
was
do
some
it.
advantages. We got to talk to people who didn't live in Chicago because hey, now I can call. Honey Bijan is like one of my friends,
come
and she's
through.
like, "I'll do it for you." No, I'm never in Chicago.
We
And
had
we
Julie
hadn't done that
McKnight,
before.
I can't believe you even got her.
Jihad
Yeah, just
Muhammad,
so
so big.
Some
a
great
host of
stuff.
people
Yeah,
I know.
outside. Ralph Gum from
Yeah.
South Africa.
How
was
about
on the
that?
show.
So
We got
I mean,
people
I
from
think
Australia on the show.
for us to be able to do that, and then I honestly, one of the highlights for me
Uh-huh.
is somehow NPR. And if you're a nerd like myself, for NPR, for your voice to be on NPR,
Yeah.
is not everyone gets to chit chat on NPR about
Through
something
line,
that they're
right.
doing. And what were your thoughts about NPR saying
Okay,
we're going to come out here and chit chat with
So
you guys?
in the National Public Radio's show Through Line, hosted by I'm a huge fan. Y'all listen to podcasts?
Daily, men all day.
They're like, yeah. Okay, Through
You
Line.
learn everything.
So
That's
that is
critical.
my absolute favorite podcast. It is a radio show. Ramtin Arablouei is the host, along with Ram Atefeta. See, try to say that 10
I'm not
times.
going to even try
And
it.
Christina Kim came
Yes.
and she interviewed us here. She's
Yes.
one of the producers. And we just
Sweetheart.
had an amazing thing. And I was fangirling the whole time. And they put together this beautiful piece. It was really, really nice with lots of different voices. that was on Throughline Podcast. You can Google it. You can look it up wherever you find your podcasts. You can find it. And it was called something dance something whatever. You can find it.
I forget now.
And I for me that was like the
It's been so
pinnacle.
long.
For nerds like me, I was just
Right.
like, I'm on Throughline.
Through line. I
I
think that was
died.
amazing.
You know,
that was amazing. And then
yes.
now to be asked by BA to do. I mean, she's an award-winning already, an Emmy
That's
award-winning.
Barbara Allen, yeah, from WTTW.
And for her to
producer.
trust us to guide her in the right direction on
Mhm.
these stories, and the whole thing about that fantastic documentary is that we can see our advice, we can see our contributions to that documentary
Yeah.
from start to the end.
Yeah.
And that's why I was extremely proud of that. Laura, you've been in 1,000,
No, I have not.
you have been in 1,000 documentaries. There's no question about it.
Well, let me tell you why, though, Lauren.
Mhm.
It's because of this platform. You know, I have been able to collect a lot of stories. I've talked to 100 people, hundreds of people.
Sure.
And so now it's like kind of locked in there, and I can sort of talk about the timeline. I don't have all the stories. That's why I continue to do the work. But I have a lot. So when people know that you have
all the stories, Laura.
I don't have all
And
the
just
stories.
to give you your flowers,
Yeah.
again, always appreciative of you from the very beginning. But everything about you, people trust.
Everything?
And
Very
almost
credible.
everything.
Yes.
Again, you're very
Everything.
credible. You're there from the beginning.
I don't know if I
But
would want that
now,
mantra.
I want that.
people trust you, and you're also a
You gotta
wonderful.
live up to a lot now.
That's a lot.
boy.
I'm like scared. Okay,
You're over
so
that,
much.
and
I
you can tell
appreciate
you're
that.
planning your shows. The show, just the way I envisioned it, is it being a conversation.
Mhm.
But you are prepared
Mhm.
for your thing. You are writing down those questions. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't feel like it.
Mhm.
People trust you. I mean, clearly you're about to do your own podcast. We're very happy about, and we'll talk about the future of what
It's
we're
a
going
it's
to
a
do
limited
here.
series, but it's powered by Vintage House, so we'll talk more about
Yeah.
that. But
But you're a wonderful host, so
Mhm.
people trust you. That's why you've been in 1,000 things. You've been around. People know they can talk to you from Europe to here
Mhm.
to wherever about the history of this music. And Kevin as well, sort of your focus on the business of house is something that we really
Mhm.
weren't tackling because we were still
Thank you,
just trying to
Tonka.
tackle the pioneers. So the business of house is
Mhm.
so important. Being a PR person is critically important. How are these people getting paid? The labels, things that Kurt knows about sort of intimately as well, is so important. And so I really appreciate also your viewpoint as well, Rocky, because Rocky's bringing in people that people haven't heard of. They're
That's
still
right.
spinning,
That's right.
and people haven't heard of them, and they have a story as well. They contributed this and that as well, and I think those stories are
Producers.
equally as important to the trajectory of the music form. So I'm so appreciative of all of you. You are also talented and so skilled, and all of this together has brought us a wonderful Emmy Award, and I cannot be prouder of that.
Mhm.
Kirk's contribution, of course, to
Mhm.
that documentary, your contribution as talent and as producer, I think is also very important. Because that story wouldn't be the same without you all stories. People don't talk about Mendel in the history of house music.
I
then
learned a
I don't
lot.
understand.
Just,
Yeah.
I mean, we talked a lot, but just listening to it in the form that you shared it, I was like, I learned even more. So it was such an important piece of that documentary. I'm so glad that you were a part of it.
Oh,
Seriously.
a lot of people really just don't know who he is. I mean, he broke records back in the day. I think he's talked about some of that stuff on the
Mhm.
podcast, on different interviews or whatever like that. But from my recollection, like Peter Brown and a few other records that like he got maybe on acetate or something, and you played them in Mendel
He
before they
came-
played on the radio.
He
right?
came to
Peter
Mendel.
Brown came
Yeah.
to Mendel.
That's
Well, he
crazy,
lived
right?
in Blue Island.
Yeah.
Is that
It was just a
right?
bus
Yeah.
ride away.
That's,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. This the stuff. This
Yeah.
he did a lot
That was his
for
connection
house
to
music in
Lolita.
Chicago.
I mean,
Really?
Yes.
the stories that
Lolita
Kirk
lived in
can
Markham.
tell are
Lolita
lived
in Markham.
In Markham. I
In Markham,
was,
yeah.
I was at her. So, quick
Lolita.
story. I worked at Renison in Markham. I had to go pick up an item from this person's house. Didn't know whose house it was. I walk into the house. I was told, okay, the item is up in the bedroom. I said, okay. So I go up in the bedroom. There's a studio. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Who lives
And
there?
on the wall are gold records. And I look. I said, oh my God, that's his Lolita Holloway.
Lolita Holloway.
And she comes in the room. I said, I swear, I was gonna break down in tears like the girl in the Michael Jackson video. I was like,
Fanboy moment.
look, I'm going home. I'm bringing your records back. I need you to sign them, please.
That's a great
So yeah, I mean, so yeah.
Quick backstory. Leela Holloway, Hit and Run, when it first came out.
Yeah.
That song was on 4 different labels.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
4 different labels.
Absolutely.
Another person we had to make sure was on that exhibit timeline that
No,
was
Leela
not on
Holloway.
there. And
Oh,
so again, the work that
absolutely.
we had to do to make sure, and given all the stories that we had, we could put those stories in there. And as it continues to expand, maybe those stories will be with QR codes, and
Yes.
as we continue to evolve it, they'll hear that story themselves. And maybe we'll hear this story of you sort of being in our house. That's
Damn,
crazy.
boy.
I was a
That's
was a
crazy.
recording studio. I'm like,
Who is this?
That's good. I know.
I saw the gold.
A
I saw the
recording
gold
studio in
records.
a
I was
house,
like,
too.
I love that.
oh,
That's
I
crazy.
spoke at her funeral.
oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So I'm gonna just ask quickly, what was your, out of all the, what we probably, I think I sent you all the list, but it's not complete.
Yeah.
So what is that? Probably over 500 shows we've done.
Oh,
I didn't count
is it
them.
that
It was,
many?
just think about it. Every week for 2 years, and then that's 52, 50, that's 100. I mean, then
Oh,
every
that's
two,
true. That's
and then
true.
we've
That's
had
true.
every week for the last also 3
10
years too,
years.
just
We've
not
done
you
500.
yourself.
We've done 500.
We've done, I
shows.
think that's like 700 and something shows,
That
but I'm
is
just saying
crazy.
500
That's crazy.
because we probably
Just
only
see that,
captured
yeah.
500.
What's up,
Rather
B
than-
Smooth?
Hey,
Hey.
Smooth! I got a great
Thanks
picture
for
of
tuning
B
in.
Smooth
Big shout
in
out.
there. So
I want to just give one quick shout out, since
Yeah.
we were talking about Mendo, to one of my boys whose father passed away yesterday.
Oh, no.
And his father is a music giant, Phil Upchurch.
Mhm.
And,
I've heard of him.
huh?
I've heard of him.
Well, he's a master guitarist.
Yeah.
He's been around since the 60s, played with everybody you can think of.
Mhm.
And his son went to Mendel.
Mhm.
And we just reconnected like a year or so ago. And we've been
Is that Rick?
talking about
What's his name?
Is it Rick?
Phil Upchurch.
Philip.
No, it was the
The
first,
son.
that's who passed away, right?
The son is Philip
Oh, who's
Upchurch
this?
Jr.
Junior.
But the dad is like world renowned.
Our
Yeah.
condolences,
Love to him.
Phil.
Love to him.
Yeah.
Heart goes
That's
out.
All right. Favorite show out of the 500, 700 shows that you've done, that we've done. What was your favorite
You know, it is really hard to pin down because I have a lot of them. What kind of pops to
three.
mind is when I was here with Alan King, and we were talking about Obama, and one of his buddies was playing in the background, and he was such like this. He's a friend of his who's a DJ, kind of like. I'm sorry,
That was Carl.
Alan.
We gotta give Carl
Was-
some love
wait,
too.
was it
Carl,
Carl? Was
yes,
it
it was Carl.
Tanner Wood,
Had
aka
Carl,
Carl
love.
Jenkins.
I think I invited Carl to come too. Carl, we
Carl
love
was
you.
playing
He
in
was
the
one of our
background.
hosts.
I
Yeah.
thought it was Carl.
And all of our
And-
interns as well. We
And
love all
all
of
I
you.
remember thinking was, I am loving this moment.
Yeah.
Because Alan was like, we're talking to this guy who's friends with Obama, who was the president at the time. Oh, no, I think he had just, I
Mhm.
think he was still president. I can't remember. And Carl was playing, and he was playing something that, I Put a Spell on You. You know, what's the name of that song?
Mhm.
And it was new. And I was like, what is that track, you know? And I just remember, like, that was 2016. And it was just such a moment. I was like, this show is the bomb. And I don't know why that moment stands out for me. But
That's
trust
great.
me, I've loved every guest. I've loved every show.
What about you?
Yeah, this is hard and putting one on the spot a bit, but the 2 shows come to mind. One was having Kate Alexi on the show. He first did some time on the decks, and the set was pretty phenomenal. And I don't think prior to that I had heard him play live.
Really?
Certainly been a fan of the music he's created. But, you know, when I sat down with him to talk, of course, great guy, little eccentric in some of his thoughts, but definitely a powerful figure in the scene. And so it was a bit of a discovery for me,
Yes, yes.
which made it one of the favorites. But the other was the opportunity to bring Keith Nunley and Steve Hurley together, and
Yeah,
Roy
that was
Bryant
good.
showed up with them.
Yeah, Roy was here a couple
That's
times.
what I'm saying. Roy's at least 3 times. I got pictures with him 3
Came with
different
Aisha.
I
shows.
recorded them
Yeah.
twice. at
Yes.
least. I know I recorded
Yeah.
them.
And so that was a moment because there hadn't been necessarily a lot of communication and collaboration going on between those guys, but when they came together, it was just like back in the day. We
Yeah.
had done a show a live performance with JM Silk in Champaign at the U of I Ice Arena for Kappa Carnival. And Roy and Butch were the backup dancers, and they also were the backup dancers on that viral video that is out there for the Powerhouse opening.
Every time I see that, I
And-
just crack up. I'm like, there are people dancing behind them.
I-
Like,
I'd love to see Roy doing that.
I had that
And
video.
and Steve.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
that's
ice
so
rink
funny.
video on a VHS tape, and have no idea where it
You
is.
can
But
download it from the internet.
Yeah, you
now.
can.
Yeah.
Rocky's
I
favorite show.
downloaded it somewhere along the way. But to be able to bring them back together here
That's
in the WNUR studio was a moment.
Rocky,
Thank you.
your favorite show.
I have to say Teresa Griffin.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It's knowing Teresa personally and knowing Teresa in front of the camera is it's a joy for me because I know it's two different people, way two different people, and
Another sweetheart.
but I mean, she is absolutely one of the most captivating singers I've heard personally.
She's great.
For sure.
I mean, and again, the ear for music. I've been around music since '84, '85, live music. So it's like, just for the mere fact of having someone like that in the studio to talk to and getting perspective on, because an R&B singer who got moved to house
Yeah.
is really transformational. I mean, because
She's great.
you know, you could put Jill Scott and say, look, this is what we've been listening to
Mhm.
outside of what you were doing. This is how this is what we, you know. And so when she came on, I was just amazed. She knows I'm a fanboy 1,000%.
She used to live next door to me.
Big shout
Like,
out. Big shout
Well,
out.
guys, I mean, it is getting late.
Yes.
Okay, and we do have to have a quick toast to
Okay.
10 years. I'm so proud that we're here. And I am so looking forward to the future. We've got
10
so
more.
many other
10
great
more,
things
10
to
more,
do.
10 more.
May not be the same thing,
Do
but
it.
it'll be like
Yes,
I think when I can get Kurt to
Should've
actually
been
be
too
the
high.
producer of the show, then we are straight for
Come on now.
Shenandoah. Only driving up to Evanston every other
Every
week.
other-
I bailed on you.
I know. I was like, please,
I
no, you
don't
hurt
think
your
that's
knee.
what happened.
No, you hurt your
I
knee.
remember that one show you
Yeah.
brought the little puppy to the
Right.
station.
Yeah, my,
Do you
remember
remember
that?
My-
you
my
stopped doing
girlfriend
it because you said
did
your knee, you had hurt your knee or something. You had
So,
knee surgery or something. you
also,
couldn't come up. I was like, your
I
knee.
want to say,
I was like,
I'm not trying to get votes or anything, but I did want to shout out.
oh yes,
You must.
yes.
Why am I blanking?
Lori
Chicago
Branch
Reader.
is nominated for Best DJ
Best
in
DJ.
Chicago. Go to
Yes.
chicagoreader.com. Vote several times for
I had some
Lori
issues with
Branch.
the cookies. They said I had already voted.
Yeah, I think you can only do it. Oh, yeah.
I hadn't.
Well,
Who
the
knows?
reason I'm even mentioning it is not to like get votes. I just want to
Yeah,
say
it is.
I don't know who
and
nominated
it's okay.
me,
Yeah, I don't know who
but
nominated
thank
her.
you.
It's
Yeah,
Chicago.
Yeah.
Vote early and vote
Yeah.
often.
Exactly.
What the alignment is,
We
right?
know exactly what
And
to do.
trust me, that's a relative term because every house music DJ I know is the bomb. So we're all that. To me, that represents all of us.
Oh, you're good.
I got
they're
a
all
quick
good.
plug
They're all
to
She's good.
Quick plug.
They are.
December
They know
18th.
best,
If
come on,
you're
you know what I'm saying.
traveling through O'Hare
Depends on the day
Airport,
and the night.
Oh,
stop
yeah.
by
Oh,
in
yeah.
between Terminal
If
2
you're
and
long
3
night, you won't think so.
for your main man Mega on the decks, December 18th, ORD.
Awesome.
Hope to see some of you, flying
If
through.
you're flying through there,
Right.
you'll catch it. Yeah. We'll be at Navy Pier on December 20th for the Winter Wonderland. You do have to buy tickets for it, but I'm doing a solo thing from 6 to 9 as a part. You can do ice
There it
skating and there's all kinds of really cool things going on there.
This is at O'Hare Airport.
Navy
Mine is
Pier.
at Navy
No,
Pier.
I'm at
She's
O'Hare.
Yeah,
She's at
it's
Navy
good,
Pier.
good girls at Salt Shed on the 27th. So check us out. You know how to reach us: Instagram, Facebook. You see where all the gigs are. Rocky, you got something
Yes,
coming up?
starting December 23rd. If anybody knows, they know I've been doing the Vampire Diaries. Then I went to what was called Nocturnal Nights.
Nice.
I am creating a new show starting the 23rd. It is called Intimate Sessions. I will not be DJing. I will be hosting.
Nice.
I will do a 2-hour session, roughly either 7 or 8 p.m. I'm not sure. I haven't decided on the time yet. But each week, going forward, I will have a guest DJ. I will be promoting anybody and everybody.
Nice.
And that's just about the thing is, working on a show like this gives you the opportunity to meet people. It gives you opportunities to promote people. So I'll be, like I said, starting the 23rd. So just to know for sure that there will be 2 people out of this room that will be there sometime before the end of January. I'm not gonna say no names. I'm not gonna say no names.
I will be there.
So I want to make sure
I
we get
welcome all invitations
the promotion of this music is what's all
as I return to the decks.
Flowers to
Thank you. What
my
about you
wonderful
guys? You
host.
doing anything, Louie? What's up?
I don't really have any plans.
You'll be hanging out.
I'll be hanging out.
All right,
I'll be
cool.
hanging out.
Well, I'm glad I know you live close.
I live very close.
Where you're out from, yeah.
Lord, where's your flowers?
Some collaboration.
All right, y'all.
Thank you all
Thank
so
you. Thank you.
much.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Feeling. The dance floor in all these places was very dark. The dance floor had a lot of smoke going on, and you just wanted to dance. You just wanted to party.
It's about the 4 on the floor beat. It's a almost tribal type of feeling.
House music, I think, really brought Chicago together. It didn't make a difference who was around you and who you're just partying to the music. So it was a very magical experience. Most people believe that house music was birthed in Amsterdam or birthed in Berlin or birthed in London because it was very much pop music in those places. And so I realized that I needed to make people understand they created this music here.
House was taking place in backyards of the South Side and North Side underground clubs of Chicago. These were the places that were stamped and left an imprint in what evolved as house music.
So house music is a combination of fantastic Black music styles. So from jazz to funk to disco, you add a little bit of electronica with that, some beats with that, electronic beats, you get house music.
I was a club kid, a DJ, just trying to make my way through life. I fell in love with it. It really helped me to discover my passion for music, my passion for Chicago. I was first introduced to this sound by going to the Warehouse that was at 206 South Jefferson as a teenager and discovering what it meant to be in a club environment with an amazing sound system and this music that I had never heard before.
When people said in 1977 that there is this place called the Warehouse in Chicago, it's a members-only gay club and it's hot and people are coming in their lines, I think people said, you know what, this is a good time to get to Chicago.
When we heard the sound system at the Warehouse, it was life-altering because it was pulsating against our bodies, and you could feel every beat.
And I remember just being intoxicated, falling in love the very first time and knowing this is what I want to do. So how did house music get its name? The record store, Imports, Etc. had a section called Warehouse Records, or Warehouse Music. And the reason that it created this section was that DJs like me, who would go to the Warehouse, would go into Imports to buy music and say, I heard this song, it sounds like this, and they heard so many of those same kinds of requests that they actually created a section called Warehouse Music. And so you could go there if you were a Warehouse patron, you knew exactly where to go and find those tracks. After the Warehouse closed in 1982, it kind of didn't make sense to call it Warehouse Music, so they shortened the name to House Music. And it was then that people like Chip E. and Jesse Saunders said, well, why don't we create our own songs that could actually go into this section? And Chip E. created one called It's House, and Jesse created something called On and On. And those are records that were actually added to that canon to say, now we have official house music. And it just kind of took off.
Understanding that Chicago is a very segregated city. The communities are built based on ethnicity and race and culture. The African American community, the Latinx community, and the LGBTQ plus community. But those three communities were brought together in the context of house music because they wanted to defy that. They didn't know that that was their aspiration, to defy political and societal boundaries of Chicago, but there was certainly a desire to feel like they fit in.
The Chicago L that goes from the south side to the north side had a big influence on house music because many of these young kids who were in high school, they got on that train to go to these parties, most of which were conveniently situated right off the L.
People from the west side could get on the train and go to the south side. People from the south side can get on the train and go to the north side.
It really did create a bridge between some of these communities, the gay community, the heterosexual community, who were coming into gay clubs to really better understand this music.
People partied. People partied together. That would not have happened but for house music. There's no other music form that was going to bring these people together that way. So, you name it, it really cut through all those socioeconomic barriers as well. A lot of the music is about love, just really about just embracing others.
House music, it has everything to do with everything that is Chicago. It's political, it's neighborhood centric. It is the people, of course, the city of big shoulders and hard work. These elements all play a part in how house came to be, and even a lot of what house is today.
House music is Black history, it is Chicago history, it is a large form of sort of music history because it is now $1 billion industry. Its history was not being sort of preserved and people didn't realize it.
So the Home of House collaboration with the Design Museum is an exhibit that talks about the history of house music in Chicago.
They'll start at 1979 and they'll walk through various aspects of historical relevance in the culture, the business, the history, and of course the
pictures from back in the day, ephemera from back in the day.
House music obviously is beyond Chicago, but the exhibit is all about Chicago's place in house music history and how Chicago continues to contribute to its place in the world.
House music in Chicago and the climate that gave birth to it is an important legacy to preserve and to articulate and to ensure that the story is passed down accurately and with full attribution, again, to those communities that were involved in its formation. Remember, house is a feeling.
Somebody open, please.
Man,
Very good, very good.
I understand why, but it kills me sometimes, some of the way everybody does.
Well, but it was community contributions to this.